Okay, while we let that cool down, we kind of cleaned up this area a little bit. We definitely need to thank the people at Watershed for letting us come over here and use an empty cabin that nobody was renting for the day to do all this, because there's so much commotion in every other cabin while we're here. We just never could have shot this video at all. So thanks to Watershed for letting us come over here and halfway trash their cabin and then clean it up. That's cool. Alright, same thing. Bend this at a 90. I'm going to flip it back over. You're not going to be able to see, but it's a lot easier to get the parts on. Stick it through. Get your nuts and washers in place. And start tightening down the nut. This one feels like it's got a burr. It's not going all the way. The nut itself on the inside seems to, might have just started to cross thread, so it wasn't going right. I wonder if I got some solder on it. Yeah, that's what it was. There's a little bit of solder that flowed to the outside of the binding post. That's not good. So it's catching the thread right there, not letting the nut go on. Let's see if that works. Be careful when you're soldering not to let it flow over the edge to the outside of the part. For anybody who ever watches Trailer Park Boys, Trial and Denial. There it goes. Yeah, and there it stops. Alright, well, I'm just going to get it with the pliers. It starts, but it also binds up after a couple of turns, so we're just going to force it around with solder. Yeah, it's pretty tight. But it will go. Yeah, don't do that. Don't get solder on the threads. That doesn't make anything any easier. Assuming once we get past that solder point, it'll be easy. Yep, there it goes. Now it starts spinning again. Yep, there's a little glob of solder in the way. Be careful, try not to do that. That's a pain. And the same thing, just turn the nut back and forth with your part. And once you get close, which it's pretty snug right now, turn it backwards a little bit, grab the nut, and then really torque torque down on the front. Give it another turn, turn and a half, something like that. So it really gets tight. And again, line up your horizontal slot with where you want your spades to go. So that looks pretty close. There you go. And put your nuts on. Positive and negative. And then we just take this and stuff it back through. And there you go. XLR sticking out the top, binding post at the bottom. Cool. Alright, now that we've got that done, we're going to work on the top end first and put the top plate on. Now again, before we had mentioned that if you're going to use the stands, not to use the rubber feet on the speakers, this is where I would take the rubber feet and put them right here in these four corners. And this is the top because you've got the countersinks that are going to fit on that way, so make sure you've got your countersinks facing up this time. This is kind of an unnecessary step, but it will keep your the bottom of your speakers and the top of your stands from scratching each other. Okay? So put those on first. Then you're going to take your bag with your screws for the stand kit. You're going to take two of the 1/4-20 Phillips heads. They should go right down in those. And this should run your XLR through. And these line up with the extrusion screw bosses. I'll just do one at a time. I usually try to start screws by hand, just in case there's anything a little off. You're better off starting them with your fingers than cross-threading something. If you're using a screwdriver or a drill, you got a really good chance of messing stuff up. So I almost always start screws by hand, just a little bit safer. Now these you definitely want to torque down nice and tight. The tighter the better. I don't think by hand anyone's going to be able to strip one of these out. Okay, there's your top plate. XLR sticking out so you can plug it into your speaker later. And then we flip it around and pretty much do the same thing to the bottom. Now the bottom plate we took the spiked feet off already because we're not going to use this plate for anything really. This is just demonstration. But same thing. Put the two screws to the bottom plate. Line up your screw boss. Start them by hand. See, they're pretty stuck. Flip it around the other way because you can't see the plates blocking all the light. Still can't see much. Tip it down more. Go down. And again, torque these down nice and tight. And there you go. That would be the end of the base. Nothing else to do. You've already got your feet on it. The only thing left to do now is actually mount the speaker to the stand, which I guess we can do that real quick. We will, let's say this is the inside. We'll leave the binding posts on the inside. So we'll make this the front. Okay, that should be in the camera pretty good. Alright. The accelerator is only going to go one way, just twist it around until you find it. That locks in. Got this as the front of your speaker. Now this would be a lot easier to do standing up. If you actually stood the stand up, just put the speaker on top and do it, but with the camera here, we're just going to do it laying down. Same thing, just get it started with your fingers. That's what I always recommend doing. Hold this up like that a little bit. Just don't have enough play. Okay. Where's the handle? That one started. I'm not going to super torque it down yet until we flip it over and get the other one started. Yeah, I can leave it right there like that, I guess. Put your other screw. As you can see, it torques down, it sucks it right down to those little feet, and it'll keep everything from scratching. And there you go, that's it. Ready to play. Wipe it down, clean it up, make it shiny. So, start to finish, you're probably looking at like 5 hours or so, and that should be it. Well, hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you guys have less trouble than I did putting it together. Made a couple little mistakes here and there, but everybody does. If you got any questions, again, check the forum. Everything's going to be posted on there. The videos are all going to be listed. If anybody else has any little tips and tricks of putting stuff on, how they put it together, feel free to post on there. But that's it. All right, thanks a lot.